Okay, so you know that feeling when you're like frantically trying to get tickets online
Oh, yeah.
for some, like sold out event?
Yeah.
You're hoping to get, like a seat, right?
Totally.
Well, just imagine finally getting those tickets,
Uh-huh.
only to have them like taken away
Oh,
by
no.
some cyber
They're
criminals.
just like the worst.
Yeah, and that actually happened to some people trying to see Taylor Swift's Eras tour.
It's so disturbing, right? And it kind of highlights a bigger problem
Right.
that's out there.
Yeah.
It just shows how vulnerable those online ticketing platforms can be.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, this affects anybody who buys tickets online,
Exactly.
whether it's, for a concert or a game or a play.
Absolutely. And this isn't just about, a couple of tickets here and there.
Yeah.
This is about a whole cybercrime ring
Wow.
that managed to steal almost 1,000 tickets.
1,000?
A lot of them for that Eras tour.
Oh, man, that's crazy. The scale of it's just wild.
Yeah.
They got away with like $635,000 worth of tickets. And not just for Taylor Swift.
Right.
We're talking Ed Sheeran, Adele, NBA games, the U.S. Open.
So they were going after those events that like have that high demand.
Yeah, they knew.
Resale value.
It was a good plan on their part. I mean, financially, it was
Yeah.
a good scheme for them.
So how did they even do this?
Well,
It sounds like something out of a movie.
it really does. It turns out the masterminds behind this whole thing
Okay.
were 2 employees from a company down in Jamaica,
Okay.
20-year-old Tyrone Rose and 31-year-old Shamara Simmons.
Roy.
They were working for a third-party contractor that was handling some of this stuff
Uh-huh.
for StubHub.
Whoa. So it wasn't even a direct employee.
Nope.
At
That
StubHub.
It was third-party
Can you
contractor.
explain a little bit more about like what a third-party contractor is and how they
Yeah.
fit into all of this?
So a lot of companies, StubHub uses other companies to do some of their work for them,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
specific tasks,
Mm-hmm.
like customer service or tech support, or in this case, parts of that ticket processing system.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Rose and Simmons exploited their position
Right.
to get into StubHub's systems.
Exactly. They found a weakness in the platform,
Uh-huh.
what we call a loophole, and they took advantage of it.
Okay, so what kind of loophole are we talking about?
They used something called the back door.
Okay.
So basically, they intercepted those URLs that were supposed to be emailed to the people who bought the tickets.
Okay.
And they redirected them to their buddies.
So it's almost like they were stealing a package
Oh, that's a good point.
before it reached like the buyer's doorstep.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Except in this case, the package is a digital link
Right.
to those concert tickets.
It's pretty sneaky.
It is. And it shows that sometimes
Yeah.
the biggest security risk isn't even the technology itself.
Right.
It's the people who have access to it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So that's why it's so important for companies, especially the ones handling really sensitive data,
Yeah.
to have really strong security measures,
Mm.
both when it comes to the tech they're using and the employees they're training.
And speaking of protecting valuable data, this is a great time to mention our sponsor, Stonefly.
Oh, yeah.
They're a leader in enterprise storage backup and disaster recovery, AI storage, and cloud solutions.
Oh.
If you're looking for secure, ransomware-proof storage for your own valuable data,
Mm-hmm.
Stonefly sells air-gapped and immutable storage.
Cool.
You can contact them at sales@stonefly.com to schedule a demo.
Nice.
So back to the cybercrime ring. The investigation is still ongoing,
Really?
and authorities are trying to figure out the whole extent of their operation.
I see.
They know one accomplice has passed away,
Oh, wow.
but they're still looking for other people involved
Yeah.
who might still be out there.
It's scary to think about.
It is. It's unsettling to think that these people are like operating in the shadows,
Yeah.
maybe even planning their next move.
Oh, yeah.
It just shows that we need to be constantly vigilant and proactive
Totally.
about security measures,
Absolutely.
both for individuals and companies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it really does make you think, what does this mean for online security in the future?
Yeah.
As we keep relying more and more on all these platforms for everything.
It is a little unnerving, to be honest. Like, what can online platforms even do
Yeah.
to protect themselves and their customers from this?
Well, I think the first thing is they got to have those strong security measures, right? Think multi-factor authentication, regular security audits, and they got to be always watching for anything suspicious.
Okay, that makes sense. But remember, this case was all about employees
Oh, right.
taking advantage of the system from the inside.
Yeah.
So how do platforms even address that, human element.
That's where training the employees really well comes in.
Oh, yeah.
That's super important.
Uh-huh.
Platforms have to teach their staff, especially the ones with access to all the sensitive data, about the best cybersecurity practices out there, what kinds of threats are out there, and why protecting that data is so important.
So it's kind of like creating that whole culture of security.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe from the ground up.
Yeah, and it's not just about stopping attacks from happening. It's
No.
about having a plan for when they do.
Okay.
So that means having good backup and recovery systems in place.
Okay.
So if that data does get messed with,
Right.
it can be fixed quickly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about what the platforms can do.
Uh-huh.
What about us, the people using them?
Oh, yeah, good point.
What can we do to protect ourselves?
Okay, so first of all, be careful about those phishing scams.
Oh.
Those emails or messages that are trying to trick you into giving away your information.
Okay.
Don't click on any links that look weird.
Right.
Or open attachments from people you don't know.
Right.
Those could be ways for them to steal your login info.
Oh, wow.
Or to get your device infected with bad software.
So if something seems like it's too good to be true,
Yes.
like winning something you never entered,
Exactly. It probably is.
probably is.
Mm.
And, speaking of passwords,
Yeah.
make sure you're using good, strong, and different passwords for each of your online accounts.
Okay.
Don't use the same one over and over again on different platforms.
Right.
Because if one of them gets hacked.
Oh, gosh, yeah. All of them could be at risk.
Exactly.
That's really good advice.
Hmm.
I think I'm guilty of that sometimes.
I think we all are.
Yeah. But I'm definitely going to change that.
Good.
What else can we do?
Turn on two-factor authentication everywhere you can.
Okay.
It adds an extra layer of security because it makes you enter a code from your phone or email along with your password.
Okay.
It might seem like a small thing, but it can make a huge difference.
Okay. Two-factor authentication. Got it. Anything else? Be really careful about buying tickets from those third-party sellers.
Okay.
Stick to the websites, and trust.
Yeah.
And always check those seller ratings and reviews. If a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
There are tons of scammers out there.
All right.
Especially for those super popular events.
So do your homework, trust your gut.
Exactly.
And if something feels off, it probably is.
Yeah, it's like all the safety tips we learned back in school.
Right.
But for online now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so be internet street smart.
Yes.
Love that.
Okay, so it sounds like protecting our stuff online is just as important
It really is.
as protecting our actual things.
For sure. Especially now that we're so dependent on our devices and those online services.
Right.
It's all part of staying safe and being responsible in this digital world.
And that brings us back to our sponsor, Stonefly.
Oh, yeah?
They offer really secure, ransomware-proof storage for all your valuable data.
Perfect.
If you need to keep your information safe, Stonefly sells air-gapped and immutable storage.
Nice.
You can reach them at sales@stonefly.com to schedule a demo.
Awesome. Now let's think about this whole cybercrime thing a bit more broadly.
As we go deeper into this digital world, the chances of cyber attacks messing things up for us are just going to keep growing.
That's a little scary. So what can we do on a bigger scale to deal with this?
Yeah.
Like, what are governments and law enforcement supposed to be doing about all of this?
It's going to take a lot of different things happening at once.
Yeah.
Governments and law enforcement have to work together to make those cybersecurity laws and regulations stronger.
Okay.
They need to work better with other countries, and they need to invest in the stuff they need to actually catch and punish these cyber criminals.
It sounds like a huge job.
It is, but it's super important.
Yeah.
And it's not just on the authorities either.
Right.
Tech companies need to step up too.
Okay.
They have to make security a priority when they're creating new products.
Yeah.
And they need to work together to share information and tips.
So it's really a team effort.
Yes.
Governments, law enforcement, tech companies, and even us regular people all have to do our part.
Exactly. It's about everyone understanding cybersecurity and taking responsibility.
It's like a worldwide digital neighborhood watch.
I love that analogy.
Everyone looking out for each other.
We got to be proactive, not just waiting for something bad to happen.
Yeah.
We need to think about cybersecurity as something we do all the time.
Right.
Not a one-time thing. It's like taking care of your car. You don't just get it fixed once and then assume it's good to go forever.
Right. You got to keep taking it in for checkups.
Exactly.
Good
You need
thinking.
those regular checkups and maintenance to keep it running well.
So what are our regular checkups in the digital world?
Well, it starts with awareness,
Okay.
staying up to date on the latest threats, understanding how they work, and knowing what to do to protect yourself.
So listening to podcasts like this one.
Exactly. But it also means being smart about what you click on, what information you share online, and who you trust.
So being internet street smart like we talked about?
Exactly. And just like in real life, if something online seems too good to be true,
Right.
it probably is.
So trust your gut and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Exactly. And remember, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
We need to tell each other what we know, learn from each other's experiences, and work together to make online safer for everyone.
Because in the end, a safer online world is good for all of us.
Absolutely. It's about protecting everyone's data, our businesses, our communities, and our future online.
Well said. Okay, so back to that Taylor Swift ticket thing.
Yeah.
It seems like the authorities are really serious about this case.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The charges against Rose and Simmons are no joke.
Right.
They could be looking at 3 to 15 years in prison if they're found guilty.
That's serious?
It really shows that cybercrime isn't something to mess around with.
Yeah.
It has real consequences both for the people doing it and for the victims whose lives are affected by it.
And it shows just how important it is for all of us to be careful and protect ourselves online.
Absolutely. The digital world is full of amazing opportunities,
Yeah.
but it also has risks. We all have to navigate those risks responsibly and do what we need to do to protect ourselves and the people around us.
We spent this whole deep dive talking about cybercrime
Yeah.
and how to, stay safe in this digital world.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to keep track of.
It is, but, the good news is that knowing more helps.
Yeah.
The more we understand about the threats out there and how to deal with them,
Yeah.
the better we can protect ourselves.
Okay, so for people listening, what are some of the big things they should remember?
So the biggest thing is to remember that cybersecurity isn't a one-time thing.
Okay.
It's got to be an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
It's like trying to stay healthy. You don't just eat one salad and figure you're good forever.
Right. You got to make those healthy choices all the time.
Exactly.
So what are some of those healthy choices for our online lives?
We'll start with strong passwords and use that two-factor authentication wherever you can.
Okay.
Be super careful about what you click on and what information you share.
Right.
And again, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah, good reminders. We also talked about how companies need to protect our data. What can they do to up their game?
They got to put security first when they're making new products.
Okay.
And they need strong security measures.
Yeah.
Things like multi-factor authentication and those regular security checks.
Yeah.
And they have to train their employees well.
Right.
So everyone knows how to protect that sensitive data.
So it's like everyone has to work together.
Yes.
Companies, individuals, governments, to make things safer online.
You got it. It's all about creating that culture of cybersecurity and taking responsibility.
Right. We all got to do our part to make the internet safer for everyone.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a really interesting deep dive into cybercrime.
It has been.
Thanks for being here and sharing your expertise.
Happy to be here.
And for everyone listening, if you're looking for a way to keep your valuable data safe, remember Stonefly offers those secure, ransomware-proof storage solutions.
They're great.
They sell air-gapped and immutable storage, and you can contact them at sales@stonefly.com to set up a demo.
That's the one.
Until next time, everyone stay safe and stay vigilant out there in the digital world.